Hello, my name is Ricardo. I'm going to be telling you what I did on March the 10th, aka Mario Day. But yeah, let's get started. So, got to college, my friend said to me, "Hey, look upstairs. We got the list for which characters are playing for DNA." And I noticed that I am playing John Tate, which is the character which I was going for. Well, before I said I was going for it at the start, but then I backed out of it, and then the teacher said, "No, go for it." And then I considered, yeah, I'm gonna go for it, and then I auditioned for him, and yeah, there we go. Now I got him. But yeah, I'm really happy about him. Like, I really wanted to go for a character who's very aggressive. It's something new which I haven't done, and I want to try different like characters. I played an aggressive character before, like John Proctor, but he was like made as like the good guy, whereas John Tate is made as the bad guy. So I have to be really, really mean, basically, which is good. And one good thing about him is that he turns to good at the end. But I had a discussion about this with my teacher. I said that you can look at two possible ways about this. How he's going to Christ about this. Like, number one, you can say that he's going to Christ as a show to say that I'm sorry for my sins, for my bad actions, like asking God for forgiveness, which is good. That's what Christians do when they're in need. Like, they ask God to forgive them, and they, what's the word? Confess their sins, which is good, and that's what God wants you to do. The second thing, well, the other way you can look at it is how he wants to be controlling again. Like, it's like another way as controlling, because back then when he tried to control his group, no one listened to him. So you can say that the reason why he left the play, because like he's in the beginning, but then he leaves. The reason why he was at the beginning of the play was because that he just gone off and said to himself, I'm gonna find another way to control people, since that didn't work. So there's two ways you look at it, in a good way or bad way, and we just don't know. And yeah, Liz, she gave us a paper. It was basically like a contract of saying like, okay, there's lots of stuff that was on that paper, such as I will not eat during rehearsal time, which I said is okay, but if it's like something to like give me energy, is that fine? And she said, yeah, it's perfectly fine. I said, okay, as long as I'm not like eating like a big buffet, like I'm eating chips and chicken while someone's performing like that. Like, I'm not trying to do that. That's just disrespectful. Um, or running late can cause strikes. That's just like a normal thing. Like, if you want to go into like the industry, like drama school, that's just she's basically preparing us, because like if you did that in drama school, they'll just be like, yeah, guess what, you're out. So just stuff like that. There was one rule that some people didn't agree with, which was giving each other feedback, and I think it's because like in some ways it can turn as rude. And like, say for instance you're playing a character which is like, because we haven't done DNA before, and some people have, which I get, but like, say for instance that person hasn't played John Tate. How are you gonna tell me how to play John Tate, if you get what I mean, even though they haven't played it? It's like them saying, I can play a better character than you ish, if that makes sense. Of course they can give like pointers like, I wouldn't turn around, like have your basic position. I wouldn't position like that, because that's not how an aggressive person stands. Something like that, which is okay. But if they tell me how to act like him, then it's more like a I wouldn't consider about that. But we end up talking about it and discussed it and said, yeah, let's just keep it on. One rule which I said, which was really good, that Liz might consider, unless if we know we won't do it, hopefully, but if it comes to that point, then she will put it on the list. Was that when someone's performing, that you shouldn't be on your phones. You should be watching them. Even if you're not on stage, you should still find a time to at least analyze your lines, just think about stuff like that. Just get yourself ready instead of just going on your phone. And because we did that last time, well, my class did that last time when we did Orpheus Descending. People on their phones, just yeah, it's a bit disrespectful, but luckily we won't get to that. So that was like the first period. The second period, third period, because we had a 3 hour break. The third period, Liz starts to go into the Mac room and just do some research on our characters, because they're very new. I've already told you some stuff about John Tate, how he's a very aggressive, controlling person. He loses his power when Phil steps in, and how no one listens to him. That's when he just leaves the play. And he mainly argues with Richard, Lou, and that's it. They're the only main people he argues. Richard's main. Oh, and Danny a bit, but it's mainly Richard. Oh, and Brian, but everyone bullies Brian. It's more like Meg. Like everyone bullies Meg from Family Guy, but mainly I bully Richard a little bit more because he tries to talk. He tells me to like stop banning the word ban, not banning the word dead, which I'll get to in a second. And I get all up in his face like saying, "What are you gonna do if I don't? Huh? You're gonna do something because what are you gonna do?" And then I bully Danny by saying to him like, "Which sides are you on? If you're not on my side, that's very dangerous. It shows the aggression sort of like come out." I say it in like a very calm but evil way possible. Like, you know, them people who like them bullies who threaten you, like, you better choose the right side, otherwise something bad's gonna happen to you. You watch. Alright? Stuff like that. As for the banning word, banning like death, just because he doesn't want to hear it, he decides to ban a word, which is very controlling and very just like very weird, but that's John Tate. I haven't done fully character research yet, but once I do, I'll talk about it. Well, it'll be on my research tab, but yeah. Final lesson. We all got together. We told everyone what characters, what stuff about our characters, and then we all just read some lines from page 48 all the way up to the end, and we just analyzed it, and we just said to ourselves that in this part, this character has a plastic bag, a waffle, jam, just stuff like that we had to pay attention to, and yeah, we just have to make little notes. So during my spare time, I'm going to look at only the first part, which is, well, my part, because as I said, I only appear at the first part of the play. Just look at that part, analyze it, and just think to myself, okay, in this scene, this person needs that, and that, and that, and just etc, etc. And yeah, more or less. And before I end it off, Liz asked us one more question. She said, how long has this event taken?" I said it was a week and a half, so like 10 days, because I believe it's Leah who was it? I believe it was Leah who talked about like no, it wasn't Leah. No, it was Leah. She said something about like how they've made like a memorable thing for Adam in the science lab and stuff like that, which I believe, okay, that's probably taken like a week or so. But Liz says that if you look at the script carefully, it talks about how they've like done some whole police investigation, and there's a word for it, but basically it's taken 3 months. And she said that you will know that if you look at the script carefully. So it's important to look at the script carefully and fully analyze it, instead of just say, oh, okay, look at my lines, I say in this way. Like, you have to look at the stage directions, just stuff like that. You gotta pay fully attention to, and I'm gonna start doing that really. And yeah, that's what I gotta say. See you later.